Hi, welcome to RodneyABrooks.com. I have a special guest today. We're talking with Ethel, prominent attorney Ethel Mitchell, who specializes in estates and trusts. She is based in Silver Spring, Maryland, but she practices also in Washington D.C. And Virginia. Now, Ethel Mitchell also has a radio show called Law Talk with Ethel Mitchell on WOL FM 1450 AM and 95.9 FM on the radio dial. Welcome.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much for having me. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about technology and the impact on estate planning, and I want to talk specifically about passwords. Okay. Now, so which basically a lot of people forget about. So when they die, their spouses or whoever loses access to, because everybody's online now. So what about passwords? I mean, how, does that come up in your planning?
Yes. Number one, what we recommend, and this is tangential, but it's important. We recommend to all of our clients to save your bank statements on your computer somewhere other than on the bank online portal. Because when you die, they shut down that portal. And we've had so many situations where we don't know how much money is in the account. We don't know what money's coming out of the account. We don't know when the money for the mortgage, for example, stops. And it takes a while to get appointed as personal representative, because if you got a will, you got to get somebody appointed who will be able to go to the bank, that the bank will respect, to give them that information. Now, if it's a trust account, you've named who your successor trustee is, and it's very easy, if they're not already on the account as a trustee, it's very easy to get them on the account. But if you have like a regular account, it's in your individual name, and you die, that account gets shut down. And that's true for investments, for retirement, for life insurance, anything online. So the first thing we do that a lot of people don't think about is we say, if you don't mind, every month when you get your monthly statement online, save it to a place on your computer, because you're not going to be able to get into that account once you die, okay? Number one. Number two, tell somebody else where it is. We give people a blank sheet almost that you can write these kind of things on, okay? But it changes all the time. So you try and do that. Now, as a legal matter, my son has done this for several situations where there's a procedure that you go through in court where you Google, Gmail, all the major whatever. They have a whole procedure that they tell you that you have to go through. And you get an order from the court, and that order says, give this person access to the information that they're trying to get. And we have done that for people. Does it work as a practical matter? No. I'm just being honest with you, okay? We have followed their process. We have gotten the court orders, just like they say, and we still have trouble getting the information from them. So the best thing I can tell you is, number one, save important things on your computer. Tell somebody how to get into your computer, and maybe every 6 months, at least once a year, back up your stuff on a I almost said floppy drive. How old I am. But on a separate drive, so that if God forbid somebody really can't get into your computer, they can at least plug into that and find out what was going on as of that time. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, so let's say finally, my last question is basically talking about Black folks and wills. Now, I've seen a lot of numbers that say Black Americans as a whole are less likely to have a will or a trust than white Americans. So, one, why you think that reluctance is, and two, what can we do with the financial literacy or whatever to basically educate folks about the importance of an estate plan?
Well, number one, we shouldn't feel too bad because a lot of white folks don't have wills either. Okay, so just number one, let's not. We tend to bemoan ourselves and stuff, but not to excuse it. Number two, I've been on the radio for 10, going on 11 years, trying to do just that. So you can tune in every Saturday morning from 8:30 to 10, and I'm there talking about this stuff. You can also go to our website. We have a lot of information on our website, willsandtrusts.net, willsandtrusts.net. We have frequently asked questions. We have information on what's a will, what's a trust, power of attorneys, what's probate, what's trust administration. All of that is there, and at least 60 of the radio shows are also on that website as podcasts. You can listen to the radio show live on the website as well. So I've been trying to educate people. I'm going to talk to you about writing a book. I keep saying I'm going to do that. I don't know how to do that, okay, but I do want to do that. You've done 3 of them, my goodness. It is so important. It's heartbreaking the amount of property that we are losing every day. I mean, it's once or twice a year, DC publishes a list of tax sales. And the number of properties, I mean, it's like 30 to 40 pages of addresses of property in DC that are going up for tax sales. And it's unnecessary. It's unnecessary. One thing I want to make real clear, when somebody dies and say you are the person to receive the money, the property, whether it's in a will, a trust, or nothing, if you can get to that property and get the court to appoint you or somebody as personal representative, you don't have to pay the taxes because you're going to sell the property. Once you're appointed to sell the property, when you sell the property, then the government will take their taxes. Same thing with the mortgage. If there's a mortgage on the property, you don't have to pay the mortgage. When you sell the property, the mortgage is going to get paid off. You don't have to bring it up to code. That's something a lot of people don't realize. They think they got to fix the roof, they got to do this, they got to do that, and so no. The law in all 3 of these jurisdictions, and maybe in all states, I don't know that, says when you are selling a property that belonged to a deceased person, you do not have to make any warranties, you don't have to make any guarantees, and you do not have to bring it up to code. You can sell it as is, and I mean everything in it as is. You don't have to change the stove, the refrigerator, nothing. You can sell it as is. If you have the money and the realtor says it would be worth it to put a little something, cosmetic stuff in there, you can, then you get it back. But you don't have to do that. And property is so valuable, especially around here, you almost always are going to end up with a couple $100,000 extra over whatever the taxes are, whatever the mortgage is, and so on. And that's money you can put in your pocket. So we have to educate our people. I tell people, if your mom and your daddy don't want to do a will, tell them the lawyer said they have to do a will, okay? Tell them the lawyer, blame me, I don't mind. Because we see what happens when people die without a will. It's terrible. And I don't care how much one person has always been the one to do mama's business. You can believe when mama dies, somebody or somebody's spouse is going to challenge that person. I don't care, and the judge doesn't care. The judge is going to say, well, she could have done a will. She could have done whatever. And so we have to start using these instruments. We really do. And you can't do a will for somebody with a power of attorney, by the way. That's something else people don't realize. The person has to do their own will. Now, they don't have to be physically strong. they have to at least be mentally competent, okay? And so don't wait. Don't wait. You can always change it later if you want to, but don't wait, please. And, you know, another group that needs to do these are the 40-year-olds. I'm getting a lot of 40-year-olds who, I mean, by 40, people are, got some stuff. You know what I mean? They've been working. A lot of these young people have jobs. They got a house. It may have a mortgage on it, but they got a house. They got life insurance. They got retirement. And what's really heartbreaking, those who have children, a lot of times the expenses of the probate, especially when they don't have a will, eat up a lot of what the children would have gotten. And it's unnecessary. It's unnecessary. So if you have children, if you're going through a divorce, you need a will. You really do. If you have anybody you want to take care of, maybe you have a disabled child, you need to come to a lawyer to let us do a particular kind of trust that will help that disabled child. You know, this is very real, but we are intelligent people we are property owners, and we have to do what property owners do. That's how wealthy people get wealthy. You know, you always say, well, white people this, white people that. Well, some of them, not all of them, okay? But at least those that got money and those that can pay for their children to go to college and all kind of stuff like that, it's because they went to lawyers and they got their stuff in business, in order, you know? And so now we just have to do it in order to protect it. Yeah, yeah.
So Calvin, anything
No,
come to
she
your mind?
answered it.
Okay,
I have
good.
a friend who has a home that the parents left her, and she's looking to sell it. And I told her, don't put all that work in it. You're trying to sell it.
No.
So you just answered that.
Yeah,
You said,
especially
answer
around
it.
here. Yeah, you rarely do you have to put any money into the house.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, well, thank you. Thank you, Ethel Mitchell,
Well,
attorney.
thank you.
state
Thank you for
attorney.
having me.
A great conversation.
Yeah, you got to come on my show next time.
Okay,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
remind us your website again.
It's willsandtrusts.net. WILLSANDTRUSTS.net.
And we can listen to you on the radio.
You can do that. Listen to me on the radio. You can listen to me live on TuneIn. You can listen to me live over Alexa. Just tell it to play WL 1450 AM while I'm on, which is 8:30 to 10 Saturday morning.
Okay.
And it will play, you know? Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you so much. A lot of information. We
Well,
appreciate you coming.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for doing this. Yes.